Hey, Sharon and Mark here, 4x2 Travel. And where are we at? Looking
In the
out our
middle
balcony.
of the Atlantic Ocean
Yeah,
on the Norwegian Encore,
Encore.
day
And
4 of a
15
15 day.
day
Yeah.
across the pond. So 4 days ago, we were in Miami
A
at
mess.
the terminal.
Yep.
And there's probably been way too much stuff on social media already with how all of that happened. Now, uh, we didn't we did not get on the ship until 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Which is, it is unusual.
It is unusual,
That's very
and we'll
unusual.
talk a little bit about why it was so late. But you also have to realize there's a lot of confusion about when you do your online check-in and choose an arrival time. That is the time that you've scheduled to show up at the terminal. It has nothing to do, well, it has not as much as you think impact on when you get on the ship. If you sign up for 9:30, that is not when you are going to get on the ship. It may give you because without status or something, the earlier you get there, you'll get a little
An earlier boarding group.
boarding group. And sure, if you're boarding group 1, you're going to get on before boarding group 20. Uh, What's the time difference between those? I don't know because we were priority boarding. But the reality was, here we are in the waiting room, and of course, with the glass walls, we could see that people were still leaving the ship, disembarking after 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Now, all of those people have to get off and they have to clear the ship with officials before they can let the new people on. Now, this is a bit of a mess because everybody's supposed to be on board by 2 o'clock because we were supposed to leave at 4. So, and we've heard 3 different scenarios as to why it took so long to disembark.
Mm-hmm.
All of them had to do with customs, not NCL.
Yes.
The passport scanner was broken. They were asking for one-on-one,
Face to face.
face-to-face time with each passenger that got off, or they didn't send enough people
Or
to
all of the
do,
above.
or all of the above. So NCL is certainly not responsible for
The disembarkation.
the disembarkation and the fact that embarkation did not begin really until we were priority boarding and we stepped through the doors at I think 2:02. So we spent quite a bit of time in the waiting room,
Yeah. Made some new friends.
which is a positive because
Very
we
good.
connected and we've been
Yeah.
connecting with them now for the last 4 days, and
Yeah.
we've made some good friends because of the people we were connecting with in the waiting
Yeah.
room. Uh,
But there was a lady that uh, didn't get handicap seating, um,
yeah,
and she's still paying the price of having to stand for a while, and
yeah.
that kind of stuff. So
So, and so I have a little bit of critique with this because I do believe that although NCL is not responsible for how customs, the late disembarkation, NCL is responsible. Some are going to say it's a third party or whatever, but still, when we enter that terminal, everybody there
that
is
is branded NCL,
and everybody there is a NCL,
has
represents
NCL.
NCL,
Yep,
and it
uniform.
is the first part of our vacation.
Yeah.
The physical part of our vacation starts when we step off the curb. So you really, I would expect you want that to be a positive event. Now, again, you can't control the lateness of the get
Disembarkation. Yeah.
and
And
embarkation.
I will say that it was very positive. We handed our bags to a steward
Yeah,
outside. It was in and out. We came in. We had
Security
problems with our pictures, getting our pictures taken in
online.
our pre-check-in.
Yeah.
So we just went over. We got scanned. That was no problem. We were in and out. Had our key card in just a few minutes.
Right. So we
So
arrived
all
like
of
at
that,
10:30
yeah,
is
and it
when we
was
arrived, and it
great, easy peasy, and
uh,
everything was, it was lovely.
getting to the waiting room was super smooth.
Yeah,
Then of course it's a long wait. So what becomes adds to frustration is there the room or waiting areas, from my perspective as a project management kind of a person, are not designed really for, one, the amount of people,
yeah,
and the process of getting all of those people through a checkpoint and onto the ship.
right.
Now, uh, was this a one-off? Yes, with the lateness, but this is our third cruise in 2 years, and every single one had uh, the crowd around the door, unable to hear announcements, and the ability of those with priority to get to the front of the line. Those things just
Yeah,
don't work. Just add a frustration level at the very beginning.
yeah,
Now in Miami, we when they first started, so there's when you come in, we went through where all the photographers were, and there was a kind of a section behind the photography screens. Then there was a big room with two doors, and then you could go down the corridor past the bathrooms, and there was another smaller room that had a door as well.
right.
And we first were down there because that had the open seating.
Yeah,
So when they started funneling people, it was through the middle door or the right hand door of the big room.
yeah,
And it got to a point where they let in some people that needed extra assistance. Then they said the next one will be the priority, platinum and above, and priority access. They shut the door, and over the PA, they said,
go to the
we need to
right.
go to the door on the right.
Yeah,
Well, everybody knows there's a door further to the right
where we
in
had
the
been.
other area. So, and they just shut the door in our face. So we all then,
Kind of
whatever,
turned
how many
around.
people are there crammed by the door?
Oh,
100
there
people?
was a lot.
We all start
Maybe
down
more than
there
that.
and get halfway, almost all the way down there. And then
Yeah.
somebody
People are
told the people,
starting to come back.
come back.
Anyway,
And at the whole time, there is all these announcements of clear the area in front of the doors and sit down until your number's called. Now, the reality is there aren't enough seats.
yeah,
There's not enough space in that waiting area for people to sit or for people to even move out of the way of the doors. Now, there's also monitor screens above each door,
right.
which were never used. You know, here, if not to be, let's share a couple they could have.
Yeah.
You could use those screens just like you have at the airport sometime. It is now
Well, they
boarding
don't.
this group,
Yeah.
uh, this group at this door.
And it would be nice to have it in multiple languages
Yes,
because 4,000 people, not all 4,000 people speak
I,
English. And as a
yeah,
English speaking person, I have difficulty understanding what's going on. I can't imagine someone else
yeah,
trying to understand. Yeah.
yeah.
So,
But you could have also, I mean, going years ago, it seemed like they divided the waiting area up into different categories. So the furthest section over there, down at the end, past the bathrooms, you could have set that all up for your priority people,
right.
and you, and even have a person there making sure that you are priority to get in that area, and you could have gone through that door, and that would, you could have even that first section behind the photography screens could have been for everybody that needs extra assistance, all the people with the mobility scooters and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The point is, I'm looking at you, it would be so easy to do a couple tweaks that would make that embarkation process so much smoother.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the reality is you have to plan that that room is going to be super packed before you open the doors.
Right.
I don't care if disembarkation was done at 11 or 1:30. Your room's going to be packed pretty much regardless, and you have to somehow deal with
A massive amount
a
of
massive
impatient
amount of
people.
impatient people. And you could have, so that's my only, I have very few, I don't even want to say grievances, but very few things with NCL that, hey, you could have done better here,
Mm.
and it really wouldn't have taken much to do it.
So if you know the CEO, have him get in touch with us. We'll set him straight. I will say the benefit of coming on later was that our room was ready.
Yeah.
So, the crew was very busy as they're trying to get people off board. And so we were able to
Yeah.
go straight to our room.
And
The
they
other
did.
thing
Go ahead.
that, when we came up the escalator, so you go through security, you come up an escalator, and then immediately to the right is like scanners for your luggage, and so you have to do that, and then you can go around. So just for those of you who are keeping notes, you have to do that, and you also have to have all of your liquid gone before it goes through the scanner. So
Right, right.
anyway.
Yeah. But, they did keep the main dining rooms open a little bit longer because
Mm-hmm.
normally they close even on embarkation day at 1:30.
Yeah.
And we didn't get on the boat until,
After that.
yeah,
So
after that. Now, there were some people that were later in line that had to go to the buffet because
it was
they still
closed even.
closed
Yeah.
before everybody could get there. But, and, as soon as we got on board, we were told, run and go do your uh, check in at your muster station. Your videos now are all online before you go. There is no muster drill. There is no meet up in the afternoon. You just have to get your card scanned saying, hey,
This.
I went to where I'm supposed to go
Right.
if there is an event. And ours was in Cagney's. We went there. There were two people there. They just scanned our card, and that was it.
Right.
And then we went off to have
And then
lunch.
when we came back to our room, there I, there was a screen, like the splash screen said,
Yeah,
"Welcome, Mark and Sharon."
yeah,
And in order to do anything else on the TV, you had to watch an extended safety video, which was,
yeah.
very informative.
But it is interesting too, the changes even in technology
Mm-hmm.
that the TV, every time we turn it on, it's got our name. So they've done the tech to get,
Yeah.
our full name and everything else on the screen as soon as we start it up. And uh, so we'll probably have another video or two of the cabin and different things about the cabin.
Yeah.
But you know, the cruise has been awesome. It just,
Started with a hiccup,
it started with a hiccup, and
and it didn't have to.
it didn't have to.
That's the
You
biggest thing.
know, start it off and keep it going positive.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's not, from my perspective, maybe there's something I'm not seeing or understanding. But when I just look at how easily you could tweak different things to make the process so much smoother.
Well, and it's not like they're reinventing the wheel every time. I mean,
I
how
mean, there were
many?
two ships in port
Yeah.
that day, so this
So if
is,
you were on the Jade, how did your
yeah, because
disembarkation go?
we were both scheduled to leave at 4,
And neither one
and
of us did.
neither, I think the Jade was leaving at 5:30 and we left at 6 or something.
Yeah.
So
And if you
Both were
guys have
delayed.
been on other cruises that have been excellent, what was your takeaway, or what are some things that you've
Experienced,
yeah,
good or bad.
in your yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, thanks for watching and listening to us vent a little bit. And again, we're having an awesome time.
We're cruising well. We hope you do too.
Yeah. Later.